Hey guys, Kevin here to bring you a brand new video where today we're going to be doing day 16 of Horror October, and the movie that we're going to be talking about today is Halloween Kills, the brand new movie that just came out this weekend. And I do have to warn, for the beginning of this, we are going to be talking spoilers about this because I feel like it's really important to discuss the stuff about this movie that I feel like didn't do right. So yeah, I'm gonna put that warning there. So yeah, I didn't really like this movie particularly. I mean, I suppose it's like an okay, like fun horror movie at times, but like really, it's not all that great just because of like how it's set up and like the characters that are here. Just nothing is like really enjoyable about them. I'd say the biggest thing is that it's just not the story I had hoped it would be. I just envisioned it to be a lot different than it came out as. Um, and yeah, it was just a train wreck to me. Cause like the whole thing is like, the story starts off in like 1978 and you see this like cop who like encountered Michael Myers, and you see this little kid who encountered Michael Myers. And I'm just like, why do I care about this? Like, they show this for like 20 minutes, and it's like, I don't really care. And I'm just like, why am I supposed to care about like these characters? Like what? Like, there's like this one cop who like saw Michael Myers, and now he's like, and now they're like showing like, oh, he's that same guy. He's older now. And there's this one kid who saw Michael Myers. Oh, he's that guy. He's there now. It's just like, why do I give a fuck about this? Cuz like the whole thing is that like the trailer for this, which was like heavily shown a lot, it was like making a great deal of emphasis on the fact that like this second one would start on the night that they burned Michael Myers alive, and they show him like coming out of the building. Like, shouldn't the movie have started that way rather than like all of this like 20 minutes of bullshit of like, remember 1978? We're gonna expand on that. We're gonna give you even more story than before. Like, okay, didn't really need any more story, but okay. And it's just like, it takes that 20 minutes for it to get like, okay, Michael comes out, he kills these firefighters, kind of fun. And yeah, you have this like stuff at the hospital with like these three girls, the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter. So it's like, okay, we're back now. But like then we're not, because there's this whole thing at like this club where like Tommy Doyle is like speaking, and he like reflects on like 1978, like that time when he was a kid. And it's just like, it's a very like cheesy way to just like integrate those characters in. Like, it would have been way better if they could have just like made it feel more natural that they were being included. Like, you could just have like Tommy at his house, like eating dinner or something, and then he's just like watching the news, and he sees like Michael Myers has come back. He's killing people again. And then Tommy's like, "Oh no, well I gotta help out." Rather than just like this whole thing of like he's like talking about like his experience, and then that night he sees Michael Myers. It's like, come on, dude, like what the hell? And it's just like, and like Tommy Doyle is the one like important character that I feel like was like worth having, and he's awful. He's not that good. But like they do all these other characters too. Like they do like the nurse that got her head grabbed in the beginning of the original. Like, who cares about that? Like, really? Who cares about that? This woman nurse who like, was traumatized just because she got grabbed by Michael Myers. Like, yeah, sure, she's traumatized, but why do we care about that? And then there's like, all these other people like too who are involved, like the cops and all those cops from like the 1978 time. And it's just like a lot of it what they're doing is really just trying to like remake Halloween 2 essentially. They're trying to like, kind of rewrite what happened after that night, which is just like stop. No. Like the whole thing is like, you know, they're giving all this backstory from 1978. So it's like, hey, forget about Halloween 2. This is like what really happened. And then it's like, the movie itself with like the whole like them being at the hospital thing is also just like Halloween 2. So it really just feels like Halloween 2, like another Halloween 2. But yeah, like as far as like the movie goes, like there's just like so many beats that aren't working here. Like this whole thing of like this mob who wants to like kill Michael, and they're like, kill the evil, kill the evil. They're like doing like this chant or whatever. And Tommy Doyle is like leading the charge. He's like this, big tough guy. I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna get revenge on him. Like, okay. Would have been nice if Paul Rudd was there instead. But yeah, and then you have this like whole thing of like, there's this like guy who's just like an inmate who's like, escaped from the prison, and he's like scared for his life, and they all think he's Michael. So they're like, he's Michael, go get him, go get him, when he's not. And Jamie Lee Curtis and all the main characters are like, it's not him, it's not him. Like, dude, it's so fucking stupid. And yeah, like just like a lot of this movie spends the time like just like reminiscing about 1978, like all of this, and like tying the story together, like, and they don't really just like embrace the present more and just like focus on what's happening now. It feels like they're trying to like expand more on the timeline when really like you really don't need to. Like the 1978 story is like good as it is. You don't need to really like do more to it. I feel like you could just like have Michael go to the hospital and just like have him like terrorize the hospital and like kill people, and that could be a great movie. You don't need all this like bullshit with like history and Tommy Doyle being a fucking idiot. I was just like rolling my eyes at like so much of this, and a lot of it is just like so like cliche too. Like, God, dude. Like some of these moments are just like eye rolling when like people die. And the whole thing about this too is that like they announced a third movie ahead of time before the release of this one. So like, I mean, like, do you really think Michael Myers is gonna die in this one? Like, no. Why would he die in this one if there's a third one? So like it does lower the stakes even more in that way. And it becomes this whole thing of like, you know, they're trying to go with this whole theme about, evil being like immortal basically, and Michael Myers isn't like a normal person, which this is like this whole thing with like Jamie Lee Curtis is like narrating at the end about like how you can't use brute force to kill him. He's an evil that lurks inside. The terror of him will always be around, and just like things like that she keeps like talking about. Which I guess I kind of like get the sentiment and I appreciate a little bit, but like at the same time, when you think about it in like the context of the movie, like the fact that like he can't really be killed is just like, well, I mean, like, what's gonna happen then? Like what are we doing here? So I mean, like, it is like fun to see like people in danger and like seeing like the terror and intensity of it all, but at the same time you have this guy who's just like he's like immortal. Like after a while it's like, what's the point? But yeah, I mean it was like all right, but I think that does detract from it a little bit. I will say that like some of the kills are good. I like some of like the horror to it. Like at one point, these people are being like chased inside a car, and they're all like panicking, and then this last girl is like alive, and she like runs out into the woods, and she's being stalked by Michael Myers, and that's all just like pretty decent, like fun. I felt like so. Like there were like good like horror aspects of it, I guess. And of course you have like the decent score to go along with it. So yeah, I mean it wasn't all that terrible, but just like how it was all set up really irritated me. I'm gonna give this a 6.3 out of 10. Yeah, definitely not great. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you have, and I'll see you guys in the next one.